Today I'd like to briefly talk about aspartame and its uses in our everyday lives, from anything ranging to drinks to ice cream to medicine. Aspartame is kind of a controversial ingredient and chemical that is used in the food industry. Just to give you an idea, a lot of things that are portrayed as sugar-free typically contain aspartame. Now, you might ask yourself, what exactly is aspartame? I hear about it. I've heard that word before. Maybe you've gotten some negative vibes from someone about aspartame. But according to the cancer.org, or American Cancer Society website, aspartame is a combination of two amino acids. Those amino acids are phenylalanine and aspartic acid. Now, the reason that aspartame is used widely in the food industry is that it is actually 200 times sweeter than sugar. And you'll see it maybe when you go to a restaurant. It'll be on the table as an artificial sweetener. A lot of the times it uses the brand name of NutraSweet or Equal. But as I said before, it's has a lot of negative preconceived notions, and you'll find aspartame in diet sodas, even some medicines that may have a little bit of flavor to them contain aspartame, and you'll find it in iced tea, ice creams, cookie, candy, basically anything that could be sweet. Diet Coke. I'm a big drinker of Diet Coke, so this is why I've looked up so much about aspartame. But I'm also interested in fact. I graduated in biology, and I appreciate a well-done experiment, an official experiment, or official research. If you look in the media today, online, you can go to many different websites that will talk about the dangers of aspartame. One I can think of off the top of my head is a website called Natural News, Natural Health News and Self-Reliance. And they have an article I read about aspartame and the dangers of it. And how it is linked to headaches, migraines, dizziness, tumors, and possibly even cancer. And they say that various studies have been done without stating any of the studies. And you'll find this common pattern across the board for a lot of the different health blogs or health reports or naturalistic websites. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, because I'm not here to inform on the fact that aspartame itself is a good thing. But I do, like I said, appreciate true facts that have come to that end via a proper scientific research and experiment. And so through the course of this study I kind of did when I was looking up aspartame, I looked up a couple different studies that have been done and tried to look for negative studies on aspartame. I tried to find one actual health journal or medicine journal or biology journal or chemistry journal that had the proper documentation of a negative aspartame. Negative meaning causes dizziness, causes headaches, causes all of the aforementioned things, but I kind of had a problem doing so. In fact, I found just the opposite. What I found was that there have been a lot of studies that tried to prove the dangers of aspartame because it is so widely used. A lot of people drink diet soda. A lot of people eat sugar-free things when in fact aspartame is 200 times stronger than sugar, which means you can use less of it and ultimately drop the amount of calories that are consumed by an individual. I will talk briefly about the studies that I looked up. One was called Aspartame and its Effects on Health, and that was by Michael Lean. And his study basically talks about how this sweetener has been demonized unfairly in the press and from, like I said, like naturalistic organizations. And this was from a British medical journal in 2004. He basically said that aspartame, to that point, has not been significantly proven to cause cancer, hair loss or depression, dementia, any behavioral differences that are oftentimes spoken about. And he just goes on to reiterate the fact that any well-known science or health journal has not published anything to this point. Another study that I liked was one called Aspartame Sensitivity, and this was a double-blind randomized study. So people who came in did not know if they were taking aspartame or let's say they were drinking soda. They didn't know if that soda was with regular sugar or aspartame or something to that effect. And this was done recently in 2015. And that test came up completely inconclusive as to aspartame sensitivity. There was no evidence found that it had any psychological or physical effect on the body that was negative, as many people claim. And then lastly, the last study that I looked up for this brief study, for this brief informative talk, was one called Aspartame Sweetener with Anti-Inflammatory Potential. And that was actually from the Journal of Pharmacology and Pharmacotherapeutics in 2010. Now, while that site also discovered that aspartame had no negative side effects, it was discovered to have the possibility of anti-inflammatory effects, which could lead to further research on the possible positive side effects of aspartame. Now, I can understand that some people might say I get headaches when I don't drink my Diet Coke. This can also lead to be caused by several different things. Could be caused by the lack of caffeine. Caffeine does in fact give you a headache if you've been drinking it or taking it and you stop. So it's a lot of times that's attributed to aspartame, but as I stated previously, there's just minimal evidence proving that aspartame does in fact do damage and cause all of the negative side effects that it does. Thank you for your time, and I hope this helped give you a little more knowledge on aspartame.